batteries. So you probably have just received a new set of batteries or received new equipment. So we want to talk a little bit about the capacity. To condition your batteries properly, you want to make sure you get 8 to 14 hours for 90 cycles. So your batteries typically come at 60% capacity. That's new batteries, if we shipped you a new set of batteries, or if you got a new piece of equipment. Typically, the batteries coming from the manufacturer at 60%. So what that means is the charge on your chair is going to show 100%, but you really have towards 60% actual capacity out of those batteries. So if you don't condition them properly, you're not going to get the optimal time frame out of those batteries. So just remember 60% capacity, 8 to 14 hours of charge for 90 days. 90 cycles, that'll get you to that 100% capacity. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through the batteries a little bit. So these batteries here are U1 batteries, 12 volt, 33 amp. This is an NF22 battery, 12 volt, 55 amp. So these are kind of the different sizes. If you have a Jazzy Elite or a Drive Titan, you probably have batteries like this. If you have an HD chair or a complex chair, you probably have batteries like this. So we're going to talk a little bit about the terminals on the batteries. We've been getting some calls about the terminals being wrong, but the manufacturer should be sending the hardware with them. If you look at these terminals, this is a bolt through terminal. So you have a bolt that goes through it, through your terminal, which is this square piece here, and your bolt goes through it, and you tighten on your positive and negative wires. This is a screw-in terminal where you just have one bolt that screws down into the battery. These are the two different kinds. Now, if you had this kind and we shipped you this kind, it's not the wrong battery. It's the right battery. As long as the size is correct, it's the right battery. They should have the proper hardware that comes in the box. So you wouldn't use this old hardware, you'd use the new bolt that came with it to screw in the battery terminals to the posts. So just to clarify, some batteries have bolt through, some have bolt in. So different manufacturers use different types of batteries. As long as you have the right size, the terminals shouldn't be an issue because they should have the hardware that comes with the batteries. For the longest life, you should keep these batteries charged above 50%. So we know that's not always going to happen, but as just kind of a tip for you guys, if you consistently let it run dead or discharge, every time you let it completely run dead, you're really hurting these batteries. You're taking the life out of these batteries. If you keep them about 50% charge and then charge them fully and always keep them around that range, you're going to get the longest life out of your batteries. So that's kind of a good tip for you. Battery capacity, like I was talking about earlier, 60%. After you condition them properly and get to that 100%, there are several factors that could affect your capacity later on. Age of the battery, temperature, how you're using the chair. If you go outside and you're using your chair outdoors and it's freezing cold outside in winter, you're going to have a lot lower life for your batteries than you would 70-degree day. So temperature is a big factor. So just understand that depending on how you're using it outside. The other thing is storing the batteries. If you're not using your chair every day and you want to store the chair, the best practice is to charge the chair fully and to disconnect the batteries completely from the chair and then store the chair. When the batteries are hooked up to the chair, it is constantly pulling that voltage down slowly. So if you were to leave them hooked up, you want to charge them about once a week to keep those batteries fully charged even while you're storing it. And if you're using the chair every day, charge it every night. They say 8 to 14 hours is the best practice. Kind of a tip for you is, depending on where your charge is at, if it's almost completely dead, that 8-hour mark is probably gonna get you about 80% charge in your batteries. So you know you need to charge it more towards 10, 12, maybe even 14 hours, depending on where the charge is at. So if you're using it every day, charge it every night, 8 to 14 hours. And the biggest thing is the conditioning up front. 60% capacity when you get brand new batteries or a brand new chair, charge it 90 cycles, 90 days, every day, 8 to 14 hours to get your batteries at 100% capacity and to get the longest life out of your battery.